What makes someone remarkable? Do you mind being described as the white people whisperer? What is the optimal age to get married?
That year was the first year that we ever heard a teacher talk about race.
Is the college application process fair?
You start to find the non-obvious way kind of works.
Is there like a cartoonist community? So many times when we go live with these things, it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Boom.
Welcome to a very special episode of the Non-Obvious Insights Show. I am your host, Rohit Bhargava, and I am unspeakably excited right now to have a very special interview with Yonta Taiwo. He is the Vice President of Artist Management with a group called Now United, which if you're not familiar with them, you will be after this interview. Welcome, Yonta.
Hi.
There you are. It's so good to see you. And it is a miracle we found some time to be able to do this because you are all over the place. And it is a phenomenon, this group that you have been involved with, that you've been helping with. And I was, listen, I was first introduced to the story of Now United, I think like 3 years ago, when it was just a conception in Simon Fuller's head,
Right.
To be a reality show that would turn into what the group is now. So just for people who don't exactly know Now United or who haven't heard the music yet of the group, tell us a little bit about how you found the members of the group and what Now United is right now.
Sure. Yeah. So Now United, I say with my heart completely exploding. This is a wonderful project that was created by Simon Fuller, who is this incredible entertainment industry entrepreneur and visionary, known for the Spice Girls, So You Think You Can Dance, and American Idol. 12 years ago, he had this idea to bring artists from all over the world together and create a supergroup. So Now United is 17 different members from 17 different countries. And it's been the most incredible journey in my career so far. How did it start? For me, 4 years ago, I met Simon and he asked me or invited me to travel around the world for a year and a half and look for the members of the group. So he employed.
And when you get that invite, you say yes, right? Yeah, of course.
Exactly. If Simon invites you to do something, you say absolutely. And at the time, I really didn't know, how to go about it. It was just a blank piece of paper, and jumped on a plane and set off to see 14 different countries initially. And we scouted, I think it was 36 different artists and brought them here to Los Angeles for Simon to meet. And we went through a week-long intensive boot camp with these incredible minds and kids from all different cultures for Simon to bring it down to the original 14 members. We launched, I think it was August 2017. So we're just coming into
about 3 years ago. Yeah. I remember he was. We were at the same event in Asia, and he was talking about how that you had just been through the process, and really all he had at that point were the behind the scenes videos.
Right.
Like it hadn't even launched yet. It was like that early, and it looked like at that point even an amazing idea.
Yeah, I mean it's beautiful because this is a project that inspires young kids to accept each other's differences through music and dance and learn about all of these incredible cultures through the members. The members are all so active on social media. So everything that they're doing, their fan base gets to experience with them. And yeah, I mean, I love the ethos of the project because of that, because it is about accepting each other's differences and inspiring one another through music and dance, which, music is the universal language, right?
It really is, and it comes through in the group very, very clearly. So we're going to talk all about the group, about diversity, about lots of different things, because this is part of our Non-Obvious Beyond Diversity Summit. But before we do that, I want to just let everyone who's watching see the group for a moment. So let's play a short video just so you can see all of the members of the group and listen to the music.
Great.
Ziggy ziggity zong, a ziggy zong, a ziggy zong, a ziggy ziggity zong. Zong ziggy ziggity zong, ziggy zong, say yeah. Lean to the left, lean to the right. You need someone to lean on. Slide to the left, slide to the right. I'll be here, just lean on me. Na 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 na. Lean on me. Na 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 na. Lean on me.
Anywhere that you wanna go, I'll be along for the ride. Take you high when you're feeling low, help you touch the sky.
So get up and move, yeah. Like you are the life of the party. We'll dance on the moon, yeah. Underneath the stars tonight. Song ziggy ziggity zong, a ziggy zong, a ziggy zong, a ziggy ziggity zong. Song ziggy ziggity zong, ziggy zong, say yeah.
All right, we're dancing along. We're like listening to the music. It's hard not to move. I mean, they are fun. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know how you get any work done when you're surrounded by that type of talent all day long.
They're so much fun. They make me so happy. Every time I see them, I just get this huge smile on my face.
I can imagine. Now, your role as part of this group. I mean, once the group was selected and all of the members were identified, and I know you've added different members along the way as well. They were performing sold out stages, world tour, everything before the pandemic.
Wow.
And so let's go back to that moment first, and then we're going to talk about kind of how things have changed.
Sure.
But before we do that, I want to just talk about like what did that look like and feel like to be with a group this diverse in all of these different countries, and how did that really work? Because some of the countries, it was funny because in some of the videos, like the country is like the home country of one of the singers, the performers. And so it seems like sometimes that performer takes the lead when you go to their country, and then you film in that country, and then you go somewhere else where maybe they're just popular, but they don't have a member from the country. So take us inside that experience. What is that like?
Yeah. First of all, the logistics behind traveling a super group with, different passports and the logistics is really, really complex. And we have an incredible team. Well, Simon has an incredible team that moves at lightning speed to get everybody visas and get us into different countries. So the first tour, I think we visited 12 different countries, and each country when we went to, the member whose country it was took the lead as the ambassador to help us with language barriers and help us to understand the cultures, because I think we're exposed to so much through social media, and I think we all think that we know what it's like when you arrive to a different country, but there's nothing like having somebody from the culture to help you understand the different nuances of even doing business. So yeah, we really made it up a little bit as we went along and worked out what the best process was to understand the nuances in the different cultures.
Yeah, and I wonder if you can take us inside some of the lessons. I mean, as somebody who's traveled a lot and been lucky to be able to do that for work, just in my personal life, to go to these different cultures. I mean, there really is something very special you learn about the world and about yourself when you do go to these different places, but you also adopt a certain personality. And I know we were talking about this before the show when we spoke about just like what type of person do you need to be in order to adapt successfully to being in a different culture like almost every week?
Yeah, I think critical thinking is a really important tool to have when you're traveling to different countries with a large group and doing business. One thing that I always talk to with the members of the group is read the room, before you arrive. It's not just read the room that you're in, but really understand the culture that you're in before, what's happening in the news. What is it that is engaging for young people in these different countries? So you have to do a little bit of research before you arrive, I think. And you need to be, I think, just open. As a human being, you have to be open and not get frustrated by not understanding. Just open your mind and your heart and try to connect the best way you can. I mean, it sounds really basic, but I think it's a really important tool to have in your back pocket, is just be open. And I think, particularly when you travel from, say, America or from wherever you are and you're in a different country, it's easy to say, well, this is how we do it, so this is how it's going to be done here. But that's not the way to go about it. I believe that you have to ask questions and learn from the people that you're with.
Well, and I know you have some funny stories of when that doesn't work. I don't want to focus on the negatives. We're not going to go too far into that, but I mean, you can sort of imagine you're in a high stress environment. You're getting ready for a show. People are on edge. Maybe they haven't slept. They don't really care about the culture. They're like, look, I just want the show the way I want the show. Right.
Right.
And why can't you do that for me?
Right.
And it's interesting because you do need, in that situation, you do need somebody to kind of be a little bit of a mediator to say, look, people just don't, when you yell and scream like that might work in America, but that's not going to get it done here.
Yeah. And that's, we've been fortunate enough to have incredible people as our point people in most of the countries that we've traveled to. But I've definitely had a few hairy moments where I'm backstage and I realize that nobody speaks the language. And I'm there going, okay, who do I ask for mics? How do I ask them for mics? How do we do sound check? I don't know, so it's always very helpful to have somebody that speaks the language and that can share insights on the culture to help get.
Well, I mean, thankfully, there is a universal sign for mics, right? Because of karaoke, so
right? Yes,
you can probably figure that one out at least.
What about how do we get to the stage? That one can be complicated.
Oh yeah, okay. So show me, how do you do that one? What's the sign language for that one? Let's see that one.
Something like this. I don't know.
So like a flight attendant kind of thing. Yeah, that could work. I mean, either that or you just grab somebody and drag them along to where you want them to go, and maybe that will work too, right?
It's funny, actually. I was going through. We have everything we do with the members is through WhatsApp. So I have this huge WhatsApp group with all of the members and their families and the talent. And I was going through actually when we were in India, I think it was 2018, I found a little map of hand signals, our own little language.
Oh, good.
Now United hand signal language. So I think you do.
It's so good. Did you get this one? This is one that I find so funny. Like in different cultures, if you want someone to come to you, you'll go like this in America, but like in Asian cultures, it's flipped over. It's like this, right?
How do you do this in Asia? It's really not appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's the stuff you pick up on right away, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have a code word with the group as well, which I'm not going to give away on this. But
okay, all right, so it's something. Let's make, for the purposes of this, let's make the code word non-obvious. Okay, go.
Yeah, non-obvious. So if we're in a particular setting, and I'm realizing that culturally we need to zip it up or just tidy up, I say non-obvious, and everybody goes, okay. We all know what that is.
Love that. I love that, because I mean, look, not only are you dealing with all of these personalities, but all of the members of the group, at least they appear to be pretty young.
Yes.
And so you're dealing with that as well.
Yeah, which has been I feel like it's such a blessing that I've been able to be a part of their lives from, so far. And Annie, I think, were 13 when they first joined the group. And, now they're 18, or when we found them, they were 13. And when they joined, they were 14, and now they're 18. So, there's so much that goes into growing up as a teenager. And then throw in the mix, you're traveling around the world, you're learning all these different cultures, you're learning choreography at a high speed, you have a
You're getting famous.
Getting famous. You have this army of uniters around the world that are hanging on to every word you say, and it's, they're incredible human beings. And I'm just so proud of how they've grown through this process.
Well, and let's talk about the growth through the last year in particular, because not only have they grown, but then you get a pandemic that hits. And I remember, I had been watching videos from the groups, and I knew some of the songs, and I was joking with you. I was saying, like, some of these dance parties, like, I was using it as my workout music. Like, it was just so, like, you had to move. It was so good. But then the pandemic hits, and all of a sudden what I'm seeing is these dance parties from home, where all the members are like filming themselves. And then over the last kind of 6 or 8 months, like, the video quality improves, the editing improves. Now you've got split screen stuff going on. It's just, it's pretty sophisticated what has happened over that period of time, and how they've managed to still stay connected with the Uniters and still be part of that. So, talk a little bit about how that shift happened. Was it like all of a sudden flip a switch one time, or has it just been this kind of, oh, they're doing this and we'll do that, and then we'll do this, and then you just kind of make it happen?
No, we were in Brazil when the pandemic really hit. And we were doing...
Not the best place to be for that.
Right. Yes. It was wild. And it was one of those things, again, critical thinking, and Simon, wanted to do what was best for the group, and what had, has the best message for the world. And so we ended up sending all of the members home. So that was March 15th. Immediately, it was like, okay, we need to keep delivering, because we want to make sure that, obviously we quickly understood that young people were going to be in isolation, and they needed hope, and we needed to, create content that was going to be inspiring, that would keep them engaged and keep them united. And so Simon immediately activated our incredible creative team. And ever since that moment, we've been working 24/7 around the clock to make...
Probably more than you were before, right? Now.
So much more. And because you're dealing with time zones and, people making content in their homes. So getting the lighting right, getting the camera angles right, learning scripts and redoing content. And then we have an amazing editing team that have also been working around the clock to create incredible content as well. But it's definitely evolved. It's been a process that we've had to fine tune along the way. We have a task assignment app that we use for the members called Asana, and that's been very helpful. It's crazy. It's
I can. Look, there's many levels of the craziness. One of the things I was joking about early on is I was thrilled we were able to make this work because of your 24/7 schedule, and I'm so thankful for it. And I know part of the reason why you really intentionally took the time to make it work is because of the topic that we were talking about, and because of the importance of talking about diversity and about kind of creating this more diverse, inclusive world. And I think you're right. Something you said earlier on about music playing such a big part of that, because when we see and when we hear the music, when we see all of the members of this group who don't look like one another, apart from the fact they're all young, but apart from that, they don't look like one another. And so you see this wild diversity of language and culture and all of these things coming through, and it really does offer that message for people. So I wonder if you could talk about the reaction that you have seen from fans, from people, when they see this group, when they see someone who looks like them, and then another 11 someones who don't look like them, and why that's powerful.
Yeah, I love the Uniters. We had an incredible experience, just to kind of give insight to the reactions. We had this incredible experience in 2019 where we did a tour called Dreams Come True Tour in Brazil. And, the response when we got to Brazil was completely out of this world. There were thousands and thousands of kids that showed up at the airport, that were sleeping outside the hotels. That was just like nothing I've, ever experienced before, or the members have ever experienced before. So we took some time, the members and our team took some time to, go out and speak to them and learn about them and their culture and what, Now United means to them. And it was just so beautiful to hear, first of all, these brilliant minds talk about how, Now United has given them hope, and has shown them the world. It has shown them the world through these different members. So you find that when we travel, the members, the uniters in each country are very proud of their ambassador, who, Annie in Brazil, or Josh in Canada, or Hina in Japan. They're proud of their ambassador, but they're also so curious to learn about the other members and their cultures. And it's powerful. It's really powerful. I think that the uniters are very, have a strong voice. They stand together. They have a lot of opinions about making the world a better place. And it's because of, I think, the core essence, which is the ethos of the group. It's about celebrating each other's differences. So,
Yeah. And it does that wonderfully. What
Yeah.
do you hope that the music and the impact of the group becomes over time? Project forwards, like, into what would happen next. Like, what would be a huge win to happen?
Yeah. I have this conversation with Simon, and he has such a brilliant mind and is always, thinking of doing things that are unique and different and offer something inspiring and good for the world, And so I think that if we push forward into the future, that Now United is a globally significant brand that continues to inspire young people to feel confident and to understand each other's cultures and to be more worldly. But yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. We obviously want to see Now United be the biggest group in the world, but I think it's more than just being a pop group. It's really a brand. It's like Disney. There's so many different facets of Now United.
Magical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're doing animation, and we have avatars, and I think this year we released, or 2020 we released nearly 20 songs. So there's lots of music for people to engage with. But then also there's dance classes and tutorials, and yeah, the sky's the limit. We're just going to do everything.
Well, I think you can, because like you said, I mean, it's not just a pop group. Like, that's the interesting thing about this brand that's been created around Now United, that it is more than just the singers. And actually, I mean, over time you have added a singer. I mean, I think you've had somebody who's exited the group, somebody who's come into the group. You just added a singer from Lebanon to the group. I mean, there are many different ways that there's this constantly evolving thing that also sends the message that, look, we've created this thing from the beginning, but it's not fixed. It's not never changing. It's constantly changing, and it's inclusive in that way as well, which I think is a powerful example also. Coming close to the end of our time together, sadly, but one of the things we've tried to do in this summit very frequently is we want to give people not just inspiration and great story, but we also want to give them some real kind of tangible things that they can do to open their own perception, to change the way they think, and to really help bring about this more diverse, inclusive world that we talk about and that we want to make a reality. So when you think about what you have learned in your experience working with the group and traveling to all of these places and just doing the work that you do, give us some lessons learned that you maybe would love to have learned earlier, or at least would love that other people might take away from this and just internalize for themselves.
That's a big one. Let me think about that. I mean, I think, from my perspective, my role is overseeing the management of the group and the coordination of our team to support that. And I've learned so much about human communication. I think communication skills are something that we can always fine tune and adjust. And I think, the biggest lesson that I've learned and that I hold on to is just you're always coming from a place of kindness. I know it sounds cheesy, but I think that, you can be a strong and powerful and brilliant individual, but I think if you can learn to navigate complex situations with, just fundamentally being a good human, it doesn't get any better than that, I guess. I'm not quite sure if I'm answering your question properly, but
yeah, no, I think you did, and it's important. It may be cheesy, but sometimes like the biggest lessons, like the things we learn, like maybe they are a little cheesy. Like that's okay, I mean, I'm sure that the group has cheesy songs, like they work, right? Stand out for people. It's okay.
I think it's just about keeping it simple. We just in general as human beings, we overcomplicate things. And, we all get in our feelings and emotions, and in stressful situations, I think it's just always good to just stay calm, cool, collected, and kind. And that's the way to move forward.
Stay calm, cool, collected, and kind. I think you may have the lyrics for the next big Now United hit right there. That was pretty good. That was a great way to close. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us, talking about this, talking about the group, talking about your work, and also just talking about the importance of diversity and inclusion in music and the example that has. So thank you.
No, thank you. This has been such an honor. I absolutely love what you're doing with this program and can't wait to see more of what you do. But thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this, Rohit. I'm just so grateful.
You're welcome. If you've enjoyed this video, there are lots more like it as part of the summit. You can go to nonobviousdiversity.com to watch more videos like this, or you can join me every Thursday for a new episode of the Non-Obvious Insights Show, where I talk to more interesting people about the fascinating work that they're doing, and of course, how to think in different ways. So until then, enjoy the show, enjoy the rest of the videos, and remember to always stay non-obvious.